Hello, I am Susan Ann Martin, and I am a candidate for the United States House of Representatives. I am hoping to represent Arkansas's 4th Congressional District, and I am about to share with you my perspective on racism in America. I grew up in Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. I attended Gardner Elementary. It was an all-white grade school. So whenever I reached Southwest Junior High, I was confused. There were a couple of girls that were treated differently, and I did not understand. So when I asked my parents about this, they were avid readers, and I had learned early on that if you have a question, somewhere there is a book that has the answer. Well, they got me a copy of a book entitled Black Like Me. I recommend you Google this book. Basically, it's a story of a white man, who did not understand what was going on in the 60s and felt the only way he could understand is to experience it as a black man. He had his skin darkened, and he lived as a black man in the same area where he had lived as a white man, and he was so astonished at what he found, and he was just shocked. Anyway, he wrote a book. I highly recommend you read this book. People, we are all God's children. It doesn't matter where you are on this planet, what language you speak, what kind of vessel you are in. It doesn't matter. We are all God's children. We were made in His image. It has nothing to do with this vessel that holds us. The part of us that is like God is what's inside of us. It is our energy, our life force. This is just a vessel that holds us. It doesn't tell you a thing about who we are. It only tells you where our ancestors came from on this planet. There are some places on this planet you absolutely have to have dark skin in order to survive. My ancestors came from further up north. They did not need as dark a skin. Go to Alaska. You will find bodies that are designed for cold weather. Yes, we all look different. Geography. That's all it is. We are all the same. We are all God's children, and I believe with every fiber of my being, we are here to learn to work as a team. Regardless of our vessels, we are all the same. We're here to learn to work as a team. We have got to stop this unwarranted fear of black men in America. It has been going on for hundreds of years. There's no justification for it. I know that there are a lot of white women out there that whenever they see a black man walk by, they're going to be reaching for the car locks and reaching for their purse, and they're acting really, really scared because they're really, really scared. It's what they've been told their entire life. It's the way that they were raised. It's all they know. Please, for the love of God, stop passing down your fear and your hatred to your children. We have been doing this for hundreds of years. When the Black Lives Matter movement started, I was actually surprised at the number of people that I heard make the statement, well, what about white lives? Don't white lives matter? Seriously? When has your white skin ever placed you in danger? When has your white skin ever had you run off from somewhere where you were wanting to be? When has your white skin ever gotten you harassed by police officers? Can you not see that white lives are the only lives that have ever mattered in this country? I'm going to repeat that. Yes, white lives are the only lives that have ever mattered in the United States of America. Let's take a little look at our history. Let's look at some red lives. Whenever white man first got here, there's red man. Oh wow, look, they're weird. They're not like us. Well, we got to get rid of them. We want their land. And they started genocide, trying to wipe these people off the face of the planet. They even went so far as to use germ warfare. Yes, when you put smallpox on blankets and you hand those out to the tribes, that's germ warfare. But red lives, they didn't matter. Black lives, yeah, that's going to be our slave labor. We're going to get rich because we're not going to have to pay all these labor costs. We got these slaves out here. And even when slavery was over, it still wasn't over. Because Who's going to do the work? There's still work to be done. What are we going to do? We got to have some workers. Prisoners. I know. We'll pass some laws and we'll get them back as prisoners, and then we'll have our workforce back. And so it began. Yellow lives didn't matter. We had a railroad to build. Got to get that railroad across this country. The yellow lives were sacrificed doing some incredible jobs on that railroad. Nobody cared. Nobody cared about them yellow lives. Brown lives down south, shit, we're just going to steal their land. Speaking of stealing their land, I'm all for giving Texas back to them. Just saying. Only because I got family in Texas. Okay. We are all God's children. You're going to hear me say that a lot because it's true. Come on, people, we're all in this together. We have got to learn to work as a team. It doesn't matter where you came from on the planet. And look at the way that we are treating refugees trying to come into this country. Unless you are a member of one of the original tribes, you're an immigrant. You're a child of immigrants. And aren't you glad there weren't people like you trying to keep your ancestors out? Otherwise, you wouldn't have the life you have today. We look at the people on the border, and our president is calling them animals, and people are starting to think of them as animals and treat them as animals. These are God's children that we are treating this way. This is not right. We are better than this. Well, there was a bunch of Germans down there. A bunch of Spaniards. What if a bunch of Canadians were at the border and trying to get in? Would we be ripping children out of their arms? Come on, people. Let's get a little perspective. We're so much better than we have been behaving. Now, I know there are going to be a lot of people out there that the hate is just so deep down inside of them, it's not going to go anywhere. It's how they were raised. It's what they've been taught. They've heard it their entire lives. You're better than them. You're better. No, you're not. And if your parents told you that, they lied to you. You ain't no better than nobody else on the face of the planet. And at the same time, there's nobody on this planet who's any better than you are. Just try and get a grip on that. But anyway, this is how these people are raised. If you are one of those people, please keep it to yourselves. It's just good manners. And we have lost so many manners and so much respect. Just keep it to yourself. Don't share your demons with us. Try and let your demons go. But if you got to have them, please keep them to yourself. I also want you to remember something. Next time you get ready to forward that nasty Facebook post or write that nasty little tweet or just anything nasty whatsoever, I want you to remember who's standing next to you, who's watching everything you're doing, who's reading every little thing that you do. It's a Middle Eastern man named Jesus. Yes, Middle Eastern man. Wrap your head around that. I would be so afraid if he was walking down the street. I would fear for his life at this point because society has just gone crazy. And speaking of Middle East, I'm going to throw in a little something about Muslims. I'd like to point out they're our cousins, and we take care of family. If you take Islam and you trace it back, and you take Christianity and you trace it back, you come to a couple of brothers, and the children of brothers are cousins. Muslims are our cousins, and we take care of family. Okay, well, I guess that's a good enough rant for tonight, and thank you so much for your time.